Hey everyone, thanks again for joining, Test Automation Day online, specifically around visual. I'm just going to do kind of a brief introduction here. So, yeah, my name's Hussain. I am the product manager at Sauce on the Sauce Visual team, and I'm really excited, to be wrapping up the day with everyone here. Personally, it's been an incredible journey, kind of getting to Sauce Labs and being part of this team. Funny story. So about 6 years ago, I was actually working at a mobile e-commerce product company that is now part of Salesforce. And at that time, I got to work with someone who was working on a visual testing product for front-end developers to, build and automate kind of the testing side of things. And that person was Loyal, who Phil from CBT Nuggets actually name dropped. And, at that time, I ended up moving on to other companies while he ended up building kind of this visual testing product that you see today. We kept in touch. Fast forward 5 years later, and, Loyal's at Sauce Labs getting this visual testing product integrated into the Sauce Labs world and making it, available to everyone. So it's been an incredible journey, kind of coming full circle, joining this team again, working on this product, and I couldn't be, more excited to actually be up here and wrapping this up. So yeah, it was really great to hear from our stellar set of speakers on adding visual testing. We heard from Sarah, who talked about how to simplify functional automated testing with visual testing. I think we heard, a fantastic job with Phil at CBT Nuggets, just sharing his experience with visual and how his team implemented it. And we heard a lot of best practices from him. And of course, we just finished hearing from Nikolai, who gave an intro to kind of visual component testing and again, answered a lot of your questions. So it's been really great so far. And I kind of just wanted to come back here and talk about, why we're all here in the first place. So, we've learned and already know that, our website, our mobile application, testing isn't enough. Customers experience this flawless digital experience. And so, when you have a bad experience, it leads to, your customers turning away and finding something else. And so we've learned that, the key to having a better experience is this digital confidence. We kind of learned about what that means from Larry, who did a fantastic job about talking us through this. It means, knowing that you're creating this like best possible experience for your customers, knowing that, your application, and the UI to your application, which is the window to your user, is performing as you expect it. And of course, kind of your customers have no doubt about what that experience looks like. And digital confidence is knowing that you can deliver that confidently. And of course, what that means at Sauce, again, that's our goal. We've been working towards this for a really long time. Visual just, plays into that so well. When we think about visual again, it just means that, how your application looks, functions, performs is as it's intended. And visual testing is making that happen. We learned about, the two different ways that you can incorporate visual testing, in your teams and within, the applications that you're building. We learned about visual component, which is all about integrating, the components that you're building, whether they're built through React, Vue, or Angular. We learned about our integration with Storybook and how you can kind of get that automated and up and running really quickly. We also learned how to actually take advantage of a runner tool available to take advantage of, a component library that you may have built using something else. We then learned about, visual end-to-end and really integrated it into the Selenium WebDriver world to automate, that visual testing across those different browsers and resolutions. And, our vision and our goal with Sauce Visual specifically has been, to perform, that visual component testing early on, commit confidently, get fast feedback on, the visual quality as it moves later in the stages of the development lifecycle. And of course, getting into end-to-end, testing that full, page functionality automatically. And so, I think we learned a lot of benefits that visual can provide once you actually tap into it. We learned about how it can simplify UI testing. how can you actually increase the coverage if you kind of pair the two together. It increases the release velocity because you can actually run tests in parallel and actually have faster execution. And at the end of the day, improve that visual quality. So catching these things before it actually reaches to production. Because again, we know how tough it can be to actually find something out by a customer or someone else realizing that a visual bug is actually present in your application. And so with all of that, I think we got a good understanding of kind of what this foundation looks like. And so I've been really excited to share kind of where we're actually going with this in the future, because we've hit this like really good milestone of kind of like having this available to everyone. But I wanted to share with what we have in store and like what to get even more excited about. So of course with product development things can change course slightly, but I'm still excited to share kind of some of the big goals we have for visual and why that's important. So right now, we've hit a huge milestone in, launching visual end-to-end. And you also learned about visual component testing, which has been available for quite some time. And so what's coming up next is we're actually going to be working on dramatically, increasing or speeding up the performance and actually have visual snapshots be as close to instant as possible. So when you talk about performance, we want to serve many files quickly, regardless of the size or the concurrency. We want to be able to cache and upload only files that have changed so that you can have even faster performance and even resulting in like instant rendering and diffing. We want to speed up the performance by, again, rendering these snapshots massively in parallel, even more so than we do today, so that we're not blocking tests. We're providing a fast feedback loop so that your teams can stay productive. We also want you to not worry about the math behind the concurrency. Just run the tests and get the fast performance every single time. We want to manage that parallelism and help you simplify your test runs. We also want to have you, run a test for every, we don't want you to run a test for every permutation. Imagine running one test and having kind of our UI render clouds, what we call it, render these visual snapshots in multiple browsers and resolutions for, responsive design testing. And of course, we want to be able to enable any static UI state be rendered on any browser resolution at any time, which is a prerequisite for us moving to be more framework agnostic. And so, there's a lot of work that's going to be happening really soon to kind of like enable this and empower you to, take advantage of, again, a lot of the power that we have that's behind this. When we look at, what else we're trying to do, we really want to focus on supporting more modern test frameworks. So, we learned today about, Selenium and WebDriver, but we know that people want to use more modern test frameworks such as Cypress, Puppeteer, etc. So we're actually going to be working to update kind of our architecture to be test framework agnostic, essentially, and be able to support that. In addition, we know that our European customers and customers around the world are excited about visual testing. So we're going to be launching this product as well in different data centers around the world, starting with Europe. And so that is also going to be coming up in 2021. And then lastly, I think a big question today was mobile. And our goal is to kind of have a native app visual testing product in the latter half of this year. And we kind of want to take that and we actually want to go beyond just like a pixel to pixel based image comparison. We want to use kind of the same approach that we have where we're actually capturing the structure of an application and then being able to compare that. And so when we think about things like synthetic DOMs and other types of approaches, we're looking into that right now and doing some research so that we can figure out like the best way to kind of give you as much information as you can have, so that you can increase that feedback loop of like finding an issue, debugging it, finding the root cause, and then getting a fix. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of big goals in 2021 for visual. We're just getting started, and we've got a really exciting journey ahead, and we want to keep you updated on how this progress is going. And so it's really exciting to just be up here and actually share that with all of you. And so when we think about what happens next or what we can do next. There's a couple of things actually. You've heard a lot of great content and seen a lot of interesting demos. And so, there's a couple of ways that, you can get in touch. So, if you're new to sauce, for example, check out kind of our product page and get in touch with us to learn more of how you can get started with Sauce Visual. If you're already a saucer or if you're already a customer, connect with us, contact your CSM, set up a demo or a proof of concept, and we can help you get up and running really quickly. And then in addition to that, if you had a great day hanging out with us and you want to hang out with us even more, we've got a webinar coming up again in 2 weeks' time. And we're going to be diving even more into, visual testing. And we've got another one of our great presenters, Alex, who's actually going to be walking us through visual testing as well. And so with that, again, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining today and really appreciate everyone participating and asking a lot of great questions in the chat and in the Q&A. And yeah, that's essentially what I wanted to share with everyone.